Hello guys, I'm going to do a little video that's different today. We're playing Conan Exiles right now, but instead of actually doing a playthrough or some gameplay of it, which technically we're doing today, I'm going to show you how to build a little, well, semi-little, cute house that you can build pretty much anywhere in the world, and it can work in many different ways based off of what materials you're using. But in this particular video, we're going to be using different DLC pieces. So I have all the DLC in the game. By the way, I recommend checking out Conan Exiles. If you're more on the creative side of things, which you can play single player, it is also multiplayer as well. Um, and there's quite a few DLCs for it. But the DLCs I'm going to be using today is the Nemedian. I'm going to be using Stormglass, which is part of the Isle of Siptah DLC. And I'm also going to be using a little bit of the Frontier building pieces, which are going to be for the floor. And I'm going to be using the fences as well. So you're probably wondering where I am on the map. So where we're going to build this is up in the Highlands, and it's at H9. It's at the bottom of H9, bottom left corner of H9. And this little quaint little spot here. And there's quite a few things that are around here. You know, there's bushes, a lot of trees and stuff, but we can clear those out soon. But we can go ahead and get started with some of our building. So there's some tricks that I usually do when I build my houses. And one of those tricks is we want to first place down our first foundation. So I'm going to place it down here. The front is also going to be facing this way. And I will count the blocks as we go along because I want you guys to follow along. If you do have this game, and if you want to build this house too, or if you want to take notes on this, I'm going to follow you. You can follow me step by step, and I'll be counting it out for you guys. So we want to start our foundation here. And we're going to go 1, then 2, but then we're going to stop because at this point, we're going to bring out the Frontier Wedge foundations. And what we're going to do with those is we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And we're going to bring it out just like this. And then we're going to put another square behind here. And then 4. So we have 4 here and 3 wedges in here. And this is kind of centered. This is centered at this point. The wedges are centered between these 4 blocks. And then we do 5 and 6 because we're going to take another set of 3 wedges and we'll do 1, 2, 3. We're going to do wedges here. And right here in the middle is going to be where the door is. But we'll focus on the walls in a little bit. So then get out your Frontier foundations if you have them, or if you're using sandstone, or if you're using stone bricks or black ice. If you're in creative, you could easily access these. You could use whatever you want, but for this build, we're using Frontier. And we want to go back 1 here. And then we want to bring it out another 1. And then at this point, we want to bring out more wedges and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do 5 this time instead of 4, or 3, excuse me, instead of 3. We're going to do 5. And then we're going to take our squares and just fill in the gaps here. Now you want to go all the way across with these squares until you reach this end right here. So from this wedge, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm messing up. 5, 6, 7. And we want to go like this. And then you can close it off just like this. And then you have this gap here. But on this side right here, we're going to bring out from the middle not from out on the edges, but in the middle, we're going to go out by 1 and put 2 blocks there instead. And we kind of have the outline, almost the outline of our foundation. So you want to come back here, and I'm going to cut down this tree real quick. If there are trees in your way, go ahead and cut them down. And I'm over encumbered, but that's fine. No need for me to be worrying about over encumbrance. All right. So from here, we're going to do from this, just like on this side, we're going to do 5 wedges starting from this square, or you can start from this square. Just make sure that 2 of these squares, you count 1, 2, and then start here. You do 1, 2, start here. And then you fill it up just like this. And there you go. You put your 5 wedges there. Now, I'm going to teach you guys a different method of how to do this. And the shape is going to be the same, but instead of using, because if you're building this in survival and if you have a low-end computer, and I know that foundations can be quite taxing on graphics. I believe that they fixed it at some point, but I feel like it just better safe than sorry. So for this build, since we're using mostly Nemedian, I'm going to go into the Nemedian, and we have the Nemedian fence foundations. And these fence foundations are going to be what is going to be our base outline anyway. So with all these squares put down, on the outside, an outer shell with these fence foundations are going to be built. So you just want to build them just like so. Just like this. But actually what I'm going to do instead is we're going to bring this down by 1, because we're going to do a little trick with that in just a minute. Because there's a little trick that I learned from another YouTuber that has done Conan builds that I never thought about before. So you want to just completely cover the outside of this, but come back to this side. So from what I've seen is we have the fence foundations here. And then we could also put fences down. Doesn't matter which kind of fences you have. You could just put them down just like this. And then as you can see here, you can see that the wedge foundation is slightly higher. It's slightly higher than this foundation here. But we can actually go a little bit higher if you want to. So what I'm going to do instead is you can have it a little higher, you can have it a little lower, but there's another way we could do this. So we can have it on the same level here, but instead we can take our fence here and just bring it up even higher, just like that. And I think I want it at that height. And then you could just get rid of all this here and just put fence foundations back this way. Now it looks a little silly at first, but don't worry, it'll actually be better overall because this part is not going to be that high up, as you'll come to find out soon. But the good news is that since we have the casing around our house, we have the outline for it, we can actually get rid of all of the foundations in here, and we can replace it with actual ceiling pieces. So it's been hollowed out, essentially. And we're going to go back to Frontier because we can take these wedges and squares and just fill in the gaps here. And you can also put in pillars to make sure that there's enough stability. So that's what I'm going to do. So once I fill this in, I'll show you guys what it looks like. And I'll get back to you. All right, so it looks like that the foundations, I'm gonna call them fence foundations. It looks like that the foundations are actually still there, but they're not, because all of these pieces are ceilings. And underneath some of them, I actually put pillars. So that way there's still that stability, but What this will do is it'll slightly lessen performance to render in all those foundations. And what I also did is you want to put these squares first, because if you try to do the wedges first, they'll just come up here like this and it'll look goofy. So you put the squares first and then you match them up with the wedges on the sides here. That's slightly lower than these fence foundations that are here. But this is what it looks like so far. Now we're going to move on to the actual walls themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Nemedian, because since we use the fence foundations that are Nemedian, we're actually going to use the walls that are also going to be Nemedian. And the front door, as I mentioned before, is going to be right here. And we're going to put some walls in as well. And I'm going to leave some gaps in because that's where the windows are going to go. And then we'll go back and fill those up with windows. So we want to go all around here. And you can mix match like different ways of where you want the windows. This is just the way that I'm going to do it. It's totally up to you. It's just how you think, how you're comfortable with it. You know, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. This could probably stem some ideas from you guys as well. So I'm going back and putting in the windows here. Now for this, I'm not going to put any Nemedian here because we're going to switch over to our Storm Glass. And Storm Glass is one of my favorites, one of my personal favorites. Same with Nemedian. And we're going to use Storm Glass frames, which is pretty much windows. A version of the windows. And we're just going to put these here. Now, again, it still looks kind of goofy that it's a little higher, but trust the process. Trust the process. Don't worry. Now, you're probably wondering about this one right here. Well, we're going to turn this into a tower eventually, and I'll show you exactly how we're going to do that. But you want to build up at least one more, because if we put ceilings down already for the first floor at this level, it's not gonna look good, because it looks like you're gonna bump your head all the time, and it's not gonna be good. So you want to build these walls up by at least 2. You can build it up higher if you want a taller first floor, but I'm comfortable with just 1. Oops. Sometimes that'll happen too, where you accidentally replace the wall there, and that won't be good. But there we go. And to cover this up, we're going to take what is called the Nemedian right sloping inverted walls and the left sloping inverted walls. So on one side, we want to make sure that it's facing on the outside on these sides. So one there. Then we go the opposite way, and we do that as well. And then we're going to take our Nemedian wedge sloped roof, and we're going to cover this up just like so. Just like that. And there we go. That looks really cute, doesn't it? I think so. All right. And that's the beginning of kind of placing our roofs. But we also got to figure out what our layout is on the inside as we're building up, because we don't want just this big open space here. We actually want some substance here. We want rooms, you know. We don't want to just big empty space, unless you want it that way. I mean, that's totally up to you. Again, you know, totally up to you of how you want your house laid out. But I'm going to go ahead and place down these walls here. So the way that I've laid it out before is we're going to have one wall here. We're going to have a doorway, which leads into what's going to be one room. I'm going to have a doorway right here as well, because this will lead into another room. And then I'm going to take my walls here and just kind of go with the flow and fill in these spots here, just like so. And I know without mods, like there's a mod for the vanilla building stuff, which technically these DLCs are still kind of vanilla, but I'm talking about like sandstones, stone brick. There are mods out there that have the same wall face that you can put down. So like there'll be one where it's outside facing, so both sides have the outside facing, like this wall, like this is the outside facing while this is the inside, and then the other is the opposite where it's just inside facing walls, kind of, you know. But we're doing this strictly vanilla. I'm doing this vanilla with the exception of DLCs, obviously. I could also show you some storm glass builds. We could build castles and stuff if you guys are interested. Those would take longer, but I'm more than happy to do something like that for you guys. All right, I think it'd be better if I did it like this, where the walls faced outward like that, just to kind of get a better sense of the layout here, because it'd be kind of weird having opposite walls on one side and not the other. It's okay if it's on the entrance side, though. It's a little bit okay for that. But this looks okay. This should be fine. Mix matching is okay some of the time. Just for this room, I think it'd be better anyway. But this is the layout of the downstairs, because this will have 2 floors, but not in the sense that you think. We're not going to build up 2 walls up higher. It's not going to be that tall. We're going to build the second floor within the roof, so how the roof's going to be built. So before we actually start building the floor, we need to figure out where to put our stairs. So in the living room here, we have stairs. We have a place for the stairs. This is where I usually put them, and I put it in this little corner here, and we have to put 2 sets. So the way I'm going to do it is take these frontier stairs, or I'm sorry, excuse me, Numidian stairs. Take Numidian stairs, take our frontier ceilings, put those there, and then get our Numidian stairs back, and then bring it up here. And that looks good. And then you have a little nook down here where you could put like a desk or something down here, or whatever you want to put there, storage, something like that. You know, that's something nice that you want to put down there. And then we can start working on the second floor. Now you're probably wondering as well, like, why is this little space here? So it'd be kind of awkward for me, it'd be kind of awkward if we just had a just like this little corner here. I mean, you could put like a barrel or something there if you want to leave it open, but I just leave it there. I have it closed off there just for the sake of the shape of the rooms. So this is more of just for looks. Like, it has no functionality in here. It's just kind of there. It's just a little space that's not being used. It's not that much space at all. I can't really put too much in there, besides like a chest, or you could probably put a hidden chest in there or something that's behind the wall. Keep your stuff from getting possibly raided or something like that. Just extra protection there. Totally up to you. All right, so we're going to move on to the next stage, which is building the floors for the second floor. And the layout for the second floor is going to be a little bit different from the first floor. It's going to be, I wouldn't say drastically different, but it's going to be a smaller space upstairs, and it's definitely going to have smaller rooms as well. But those are going to just be the bedrooms. There's going to be 2 bedrooms in this build, and I'll show you how to lay it out as well as soon as we finish putting all the floors in. Now, even though this little tiny space here is not utilized, these floors here are still going to be utilized for the balcony that we're going to be putting down here soon. All right, so this entire spot is open. But what we're going to do first is get to the Numidian and go to Numidian sloped roofs, and just go ahead and place these roofs down like so. Don't go all the way across though, because this is where the tower is going to go, and I'm going to show you that little trick here soon. But you just want to keep building here. But on this side, we're going to do something a little different. We're not going to build a roof like this. No, we're going to do something a little different. This side is going to have the wall come up one more higher than on this side. This side is going to stay this low. It's going to stay this low, and nothing's going to change from that. And then you just want to put walls with the outer face facing outward like that, like so. And then get your left sloping walls and cover up everything that's there. And then what you can do next is just finish off this wall if you want to right away with more sloped pieces. And we'll put a little window there. And then we can finish it off by putting some of the roof pieces down here. So you get kind of the sense of how the roof is going to be shaped. So just like so. So we have this uneven thing here. So this side, the left side's higher than the right side, but it still looks good. Still looks good. Now, you could see how this could be, it's still a little it's still kind of silly, because you can keep it as a normal height as well. Or what we could also do instead is we can alter this slightly. And we can take, sometimes this acts finicky, so you might want to put these down first, these slope pieces first, before placing down the wedge slope roofs. Just that way it cooperates a little bit better. Because we can have the shape this way, so that way it kind of connects to the way the height is. Excuse me, can't talk. Just like so. Just to make it a little nicer. Just like so. That looks good, doesn't it? I think so. All right. And then we want to just keep putting up walls here, but we're going to put a medium window here, and then a doorway right there. And then just continue along with the rest of the walls here, and keep a gap here because we're going to put some door frames there. And then just continue along here, and just connect that up to where it loops around. And then you can finish off the rest of this wall on the inside and make sure that the interface is facing outward from the roof. So it's facing away from it. So it looks like this. And then you could put more walls here, and this is going to be our hallway. This is going to be our hallway here. And just keep building up as well because we want to meet up with the roof too. Just like so. To this point. And then just like so. And then I can take the roof here and leave a gap with these three because we're going to do something a little special with that. I mean, not too special. You can already put your door frames down. And then get your wedge roof pieces and just go around. Go put down 4 of them. Get your wedge, or not your wedge, your sloped roof, excuse me. Not to this point. I don't know why I did that. I did that by accident. And then over here, we're going to go to frontier and get our frontier fence. And you can put the frontier fence around here because this is where the balcony is. Now, you don't have to do this because the ceiling is going to be kind of low sitting, but I do this just for the sake of the shape of the roof. So we're going to go across here, the same amount of wedges as this wall is, and then as these floors are. And then we're going to go back to our median and get more of our wedge sloped roofs and connect them all together like this. And we're going to instead use inverted sloped roof corner to close off the gaps on this side as well. So it looks just like this. And then on the inside, we gotta make sure that everything looks normal. There's not like weird gaps anywhere. So we use sloped and a regular wall there as well. And then we gotta finish off the way that the shape of this second floor is. So make sure the outer face is facing that way towards where the tower is going to go, which we're about ready to complete it here in just a few moments. And there was something I wanted to do. So there's 2 methods that you can do this portion of the roof. So we can put a roof piece there, but right here there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either finish it off by just putting regular roof pieces here, or there's another way you could do this that I thought of. You can put 2 windows here, and we're not going to connect it up like, sideways or like this at all, like this, because that's going to look goofy. What I think looks better, and what also still stays with the leveling, the level of the roof, the same height as the roof, is we put two of these Numidian rooftops, and we grab our Numidian wall caps and just close them off just like this. So it looks like that. And then on the sides here, don't forget to put your right sloping or left sloping inverted walls, just to make sure you fill in those gaps. You could do that before, you could do that after. Just depends on what steps you want to take. I mean, it doesn't have to be in the exact order that I'm doing this, but you know, because I'm kind of doing this in a random order anyway. But that looks good. I think that looks good. And then finish off the back here with a couple other roof pieces. So one roof piece that we're going to be using is the Numidian rooftop junction. So it makes it look like this, and we do two of those on the same side, and then on this side we want to flip it around to make sure that this triangle is facing outward this way and this triangle is facing in this direction. So that way it just, you know, looks organized and it looks like an actual roof. So, all right. Now, finishing off the inside here, we need to put in where the rooms are going to go. So I put a wall right here, and we're going to put a doorway as well. And this side, the outside facing, is going to face inward in this room. So if you're inside the room here, you're going to see these outer facing walls as opposed to these inner facing walls. And you want to go a 2x3. So just like so. And yes, we're going to do it just like this and build it up all the way. And then do these sloped pieces as well, just like that, until it reaches about the same height as the roof, so that way you can put the next roof pieces down. So that looks good, right? I think so. Okay, so the last bit that has the last room, or the larger room here, is we're going to put a door frame here, and then one more, and then one last remaining wall, which I think I'm going to flip the outer facing inward like this, and same with the wall there. The outer face faces inward like that. Oh, excuse me. I meant the right sloping wall faces inward like that. There we go. That's better. Okay, last but not least, one of the last things before we complete the roof is we need to work on the tower. So there's a little bit of a trick. It might not look the most appealing, but it does work. So we're going to take our wedge pieces, our wedge ceilings, and we're going to go 3 here, but we're also going to go 3 here as well. Now what that's going to do is it allows us to actually build a circular tower upward, just like so. And this last gap here, this gap that I made, I'm going to put a window there. And then you're going to put more frontier wedge pieces here to close it off. And then the surrounding top portion, you want to go back to Numidian, and you want to put the crenulated wall around here. So it looks like an actual castle tower, just like so. And then you can finish off this by putting the last 2 remaining roof pieces behind here. Oops. And it looks just like this. From the front, it doesn't look too bad. I need to get rid of this tree, though. Look, doesn't look too bad from the front, though, doesn't it? Does it not? I don't think so. There's like a little gap here, which it might bother you, but it really isn't that worrisome, just because, you know, there's not at any point that you're going to be climbing up the roof. I mean, unless you want to, obviously when you're going to be finishing the roof off. That's probably the only time you're going to actually see it. But that's like the best way to do it without having mods, because there is a mod where there's less building place restrictions, so I could literally put like roof pieces at the bottom here I could technically do that right now, but it looks kind of goofy because I can't put a wall down. Oh! Wait a minute. Did I just bamboozle myself? Did I just do that? Really? Well, well, look at that. I stand corrected. Huh. Well, that works out really well then. Look at that. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better now. Well, just do what I just did then. I guess put the roof down first and then the wall down next. That's that's awesome. I didn't think it would do that. Well, I just learned something in vanilla that I didn't think I could do without a mod. Well, there we go. So what I did to fill out those gaps was use the inverted wedge sloped roof. And then there's also, to finish off the ends of these roofs, is the Numidian rooftop end, literally called rooftop end. So then you could just put that there and then complete it by putting regular rooftops as well. Just like so. Doesn't it look good though? Doesn't it look great? All right, there's 2 more things we have left to do. One is we have the second balcony that we need to work on. And we're going to use the inverted walls, the sloping inverted walls. And we'll make sure that this side has the outside facing wall going outward to the front, and then the other one faces the back. Sometimes it could be a little finicky as well, trying to get it to line up the way you want to. Because, you know, it's great. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but, or does this? No, I think that made it worse. Sometimes you have to, there we go, that's what I wanted. Okay. Now it's fixed. Now I got it. All right, that's better. And then it doesn't matter which one you have as long as it's in the middle. And then you want to take your frontier ceilings and you're going to place these down here. And you could put the fences down here as well. And there's certainly another thing you could do. There's 2 things. You can leave it as is on the underneath where it's open face like so, or you can take Numidian sloped roof and you can actually face it this way, where the underside is facing the outside and it looks like that, which I think looks better in my opinion, but you can have it blank. You can have it with or without it. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with. There we go. Look how cute that is. That looks great. All right. Now, the piece de resistance, because you need a way to, get down from the front door, and actually a way to get up. So we're going to build a porch. So the porch, we're going to use these, we don't necessarily have to use wedge foundations. We could use the wedge ceiling pieces. So we're going to just go all the way around, just like so, until it creates a circle here, and then just keep going, and then we reach the square here. And then you can actually use the Numidian fence foundations to cover up the gaps here that's, the floating bits underneath. So you could just close it off, just like so. And I'm going to bring this out by 1 more, all the way like so. And then the stairs, the median stairs, are going to go on this side and on this side. And get our frontier fences and go all the way around with it on these sides. Just like so. You can extend this out a little bit more if you want. You could have it go all the way out like this if you wish. But I think the way it is right here is good enough. I think so. But there you go. There you have it. Last bits you can put in here is a door, the Nemedian door, or whatever doorway you want. I'm just going to put the Nemedian door in, just like so. And you can also do it to the balcony doors too, so that way nobody gets in. And you can add some extra stuff here, like I'll add some frontier pillars on the sides here, just to add, I guess, more support, if you will. And you can add all kinds of lights and stuff and everything. I think it looks good. It looks really, really good. I like it a lot. Let me know what you guys think of this build down below in the comments. I would really appreciate your guys' feedback, and let me know if you want me to do a video on furnishing this house, because I think it would be a great idea to furnish this house. And also, if you have any suggestions for what other stuff I can build in Conan Exiles, like I said, we could do castles, we could do other house styles, we could use different materials for other houses. Just let me know. Like I said in the beginning, I recommend getting this game for the creative part of it. It's fantastic. The building is pretty much endless. There are some finicky parts of it, but you know, for the most part, I really enjoy it a lot. And I hope you learned a lot today with the building. And if you guys did enjoy this, be sure to hit the like button if you aren't already. And don't forget to hit subscribe as well with that notification bell, because that lets me know that you guys enjoy the content on the channel and would like to see more, as well as being notified when the next video or even live stream happens. I've been Savvy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. See you later.